Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to another speech of mine. For this assignment, I decided to talk about the interactive model. When I was researching the different types of communication models, I found that the interactive model was definitely the most compelling and relatable to myself. This model was proposed by William Scram in 1954. He started with the fundamental components of the transmission model, yet tried to apprehend the interactive nature of human communication between one another. The interactive model diverges from the transmission model because it concentrates on the behavior of the human rather than the technological process of the communication. It embodies feedback from participants and demonstrates human connection. As the interactive process, each participant alternates between the sender and the receiver. Additionally, this model considers the participant's background and the effect of these experiences on the communication transfer. A connection between the participants is only reached when the message sent taps a familiar field of background with the decoder. I picked this model out of all of the other ones for a variety of reasons. I think the biggest reason was because I found it the most engaging to learn about and research. Throughout this unit, I have discovered that one of the most important ways someone can communicate is through their body. The interaction model is less message focused and more interactive focused, which I found very interesting. It concentrates on the participant's behavior directed towards the other participant. Also, an element of the interactive model that I found to be very intriguing is the psychological context of it. I found this part to be very intriguing because I feel like this is the part of the entire process that I related to the most. This includes the mental and emotional factors in a communication encounter between two people or multiple. Stress, anxiety, and emotions are some of the examples of psychological influences that can affect our communication with one another. For example, about a month ago, I received the news that my grandfather was diagnosed with not only dementia, but he was also diagnosed with Parkinson's. I have been very close to my grandfather ever since I could learn to walk or talk, so this news affected my family and myself traumatically. So when I got this news, I had a job interview about an hour later, and it was very hard to communicate during my interview because of the news I had just heard. I found it very challenging, and I definitely recognized that it altered my behavior. I have really enjoyed learning about this model and the different components of it. I have discovered it to be extremely relatable and intriguing. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.